The last visitor. It was the sound of the doorbell that woke Alex from his deep sleep. In the dead of night, the noise sliced through the silence of his apartment like a knife. Groggy and disoriented, he glanced at the clock. 3:13 a.m. He sat up, heart pounding in his chest. No one ever came to his place, especially not at this hour. The doorbell rang again. This time, it felt more urgent. Alex rubbed his eyes and threw on a shirt, shaking off the remnants of sleep. A part of him considered ignoring it. Whoever it was could leave. But something about the relentless sound pulled him from bed. He walked through the dark hallway, each step slower than the last, the air around him growing colder. The closer he got to the door, the more uneasy he felt. Who could possibly be at his door at this hour? When he reached the entrance, Alex hesitated. His hand hovered over the doorknob. Maybe it was a neighbor or someone in trouble. But then, through the peephole, he saw no one. The hallway outside was empty. No shadow, no figure. His pulse quickened as a chill crept up his spine. Just as he was about to turn away, there was a sudden, loud knock. Alex jumped back, startled. Whoever, or whatever, was out there wasn't leaving. His phone buzzed in his pocket, and Alex fumbled to retrieve it. A new text. "I'm here." The number was unknown. He felt the hair on the back of his neck rise. Without thinking, he looked through the peephole again. But still, there was nothing there. Swallowing hard, Alex decided to open the door. He wasn't sure why, but his body seemed to move on its own. The door creaked open, revealing only the dimly lit hallway. It was empty, just as before. He exhaled, feeling foolish for letting his mind get the better of him. But as he turned to close the door, a sudden gust of cold air rushed past him, sweeping into the apartment. The door slammed shut behind him with a loud bang, and the lights flickered. The room felt different. Wrong. "Hello?" Alex called out into the empty space, though he knew no one was there. His phone buzzed again. Another text from the unknown number. "I'm inside." Alex's breath hitched. His fingers trembled as he looked around the darkened apartment, his eyes straining to see. The air was thick, and every shadow seemed to stretch toward him. He backed away from the door, his mind racing. Was this some kind of prank? He could barely hear his own thoughts over the pounding of his heart. Suddenly, he heard a noise from the living room. A soft creaking, like someone stepping on the floorboards. Every fiber of his being screamed at him to run, to get out. But he was frozen. Something was in his apartment. The living room was shrouded in darkness, but he could just make out a figure standing near the window. His breath caught in his throat. Someone was there. The figure was still, silent, watching him. It was too tall to be any person he knew, its outline too distorted, like a shadow given form. The flickering light made it seem as though it was swaying gently, back and forth. Who are you?" Alex stammered, stepping back toward the hallway. The figure didn't respond. It didn't move. It just stood there, a dark silhouette in the corner of his living room, its presence suffocating. His phone buzzed again. He didn't want to look, but his hand moved on its own. Another text. "You shouldn't have opened the door." Alex dropped the phone, the screen shattering on the floor. Panic surged through him, and he turned to run. But before he could reach the bedroom door, it slammed shut with a force that rattled the walls. He spun around, only to find the figure now closer, standing in the hallway, its face still obscured by shadows. He couldn't breathe. The figure began to advance, slow, deliberate steps that seemed to echo through the apartment. "No! No!" Alex shouted, backing up until he hit the wall. His mind raced, searching for a way out, but the figure was blocking his only escape. Just as the figure was nearly upon him, the apartment was plunged into complete darkness. Alex's heart raced, his eyes darting wildly, trying to see in the pitch black. Then, a whisper, cold and breathy, right next to his ear. "You invited me in," Alex screamed, flailing in the dark, trying to get away. The lights flickered back on, and the figure was gone. The apartment was empty again. His heart pounded in his chest as he gasped for breath, eyes darting around the room. But the door was open. He could see it clearly now. The hallway, empty again. No shadow, no figure. His phone buzzed one last time. See you tomorrow.